welcome to another episode in the series of TEFL certification with On Sabbatical with Dr. Crystal. I'm Dr. Crystal, and this is the channel for women over 40 who are looking for a new chapter in their career. And in the month of September, we're interviewing people who are a part of the industry of teaching English as a foreign language, which is known as the TEFL certification industry. So I'm excited today to have as a guest the director of the International Teacher Training Organization in Guadalajara, Mexico. Welcome to the show, Mr. Luis Tamayo.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Crystal. It's really an honor to be here now sharing all this, our experience in the TEFL market. And thank you again for the invitation.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. I also am an alumni of their program in Guadalajara. I spent about 2 months in Guadalajara. We've talked in an earlier episode about my time in Guadalajara in the program. And so now we have the honor of having the director here to talk to us about trends in the market, about who TEFL certification and TEFL or English teaching careers are for. I want to invite you, before we begin with those questions, to share anything in terms of your background and your experience about the program that you'd like to open up with.
We've been in the TEFL field. We are part of for more than 25 years, we're part of another partner school, which has been in the TEFL market for more than 50 years in Guadalajara, Mexico, which is second largest city in Mexico. And so that's why we've been able to be all these many years in the industry. So we are really one of the pioneers in the TEFL industry in Mexico. So we're really proud of that.
Awesome. And I said it in an earlier video, but I'm going to say it again in your presence. I was extremely impressed with how thorough the training was. I didn't really know what I was signing up for, but it is probably the hardest thing that I've done since I left the doctoral program at Notre Dame. I mean, literally, they are not playing. Every hour, every minute was busy doing things that were relevant to becoming a better educator, a better teacher of English. So I just like to give the flowers in front of, the right people.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christian. Yes, and definitely our course, TEFL course, is not a pay-to-pass course. Definitely, it is not. It is definitely built to challenge your limits to give you. It is an intense course. Yes, it is. But by the end, it will worth it. It's guaranteed.
Definitely. So later in the series, we'll get a chance to talk with an alumni of the program, not me, about their experiences of having been through it and who's actually out teaching. But for now, we're going to talk about a really important subject to my audience. Who is a person over 40 or over 50, male or female, a good candidate for the TEFL program? And so the question is, there's a common misconception that TEFL is only for people in their 20s, people in college. And could you speak, Mr. Tamayo, about the reality of this myth? And what is the perspective of maybe a school that's hiring educators as well as the students who are in the school taking the English classes? Are there any advantages to being a mature person as a TEFL teacher?
Well, it's correct. I mean, majority of our trainees are in their 20s, but we have successfully trained and found employment for graduates in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, of course. Yes. Teaching, we believe, is one of those professions that you might be agreeing with me now, where you are never too old. In some schools and institutes, directors of schools prefer older and more mature people for a teaching job. So that's because of the respected image that they portray. There's no really an official upper age limit. Some employers may have preferences for young teachers, while others prefer to enroll, having with them employed more mature teachers.
Do you think the students have any concern or expectation of the age of their teacher?
Really, in Mexico, students are very mind open. They would, if their parents would prefer to have more mature teachers in the classroom. Even adults in the classroom might prefer to have a more mature teachers in the classroom. That's because of the image that the person portrays of the teacher. the teacher position in Mexico is something that is a position well respected. So I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So, moving beyond the classroom, there is also a traditional image of a TEFL teacher as teaching, in a third world country, dirt floor, room full of children of all ages, big room full of children of all ages. So, what are the other ways that you can utilize a TEFL certification? What are some other things you can do with it? I mean, I understand that obviously, even if you want to travel, that's something that a lot of people would still be willing to do, be in a country that was less developed. I know I'm interested in going to Thailand and Vietnam. Again, the images that conjures up is that you're going to have to teach a lot of children that are in rural communities. I don't think that's the only way to use a TEFL certification. So can you tell me about some other options?
Yes, yes, of course. Well, actually, a TEFL certification, most of TEFL courses are built to teach adults. Now, there are some schools that offer additional components. It is the TYL
Hmm.
certification specialty. Here at ITTL, we have added this component to the actual 4-week TEFL course mini segment covering the specifics on how to teach young learners. And we also added a component on how to teach English online. Some have very just a limited content on how to teach business English. Of course, with a TEFL certification, other professional fields can open. Some teachers, what they are looking to do is to teach English for specific purposes.
Yes.
So I think that there's also an opportunity. Yes, of course, not as many opportunities as teaching English in general, but there are. Yes, some teachers, and here's where I see opens two paths to follow. Teachers can opt to be entrepreneurs, to open their own business, to teach English for specific purposes, or may just adhere to a school or 2 or 3 schools for them to offer the services as the clients contact the school, and then they decide to hire these specialty services as
Hmm.
teaching English for specific purposes. It could be teaching specific English for teaching laws in the law area, in the medic
Hmm.
area. I think there, yeah, of course, there are opportunities. Teaching business English, of course, yes, in TYL.
Yeah, I think business English is probably the thing that people hear the most about if they hear about anything outside of teaching children in school. Shared the example of if I'm a former lawyer and I want to teach legal English, I know of someone who wants to teach in the medical profession. Their background is in nursing. And so they want to help people that are planning on doing either healthcare in their own country, like in Mexico, with expats who are going to struggle to speak Spanish, or if they want to go to, Canada or the US to further their education or practice in some way. So I
Yeah.
definitely think the English for specific purposes, I think you called it, was definitely like something that people should explore and learn more about if they're really passionate about staying in their field that they retired from, if they've retired from 20 years doing something. Would you agree with that, or what's your opinion on that?
Yes,
I'm a
of
nurse
course. Yes, yes, yes.
years.
Although I would suggest to be open-minded. It could be, yes, persistent in looking something which is really focused on your previous career years ago. Maybe perhaps really adhere to what you've done for the past many years. Although I would suggest to be open for new opportunities that might, at certain point, you might make you realize that it was is something really, although it's not something that you directly linked to something that you were doing in the past, but definitely will be a new opportunity and new learnings, new perspectives of lives, and new content and knowledge that perhaps you hadn't been in contact with previously with new people and new environments. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay, so thank you for that. So the next question has more to do with the slow travel lifestyle. I don't know if that's something you've heard of. It's really popular right now in social media. Everybody, including myself, it's the idea that you go to a country, you visit, you stay 3 months, and you experience as much of life as a local as you can. Although, if I'm entirely honest, I don't know that that part of it is really realistic. I don't, having just spent 2.5 months in Mexico, I can say that I had an opportunity to build relationships and friendships with people that were local, that I got to see a little bit more of what lifestyle would be like if I were to live there permanently. But I don't think that in a 3 to 6 months time frame that you really are going to live like a local, in my opinion, so far. But I'm new to this. So if someone wants to live like a local, or maybe the better way to look at it is they want to live not like a tourist. So slow travel as sort of, I don't know, anti-tourism. So you're doing your everyday life, you're giving back to the community, you're receiving. In my case, improving my Spanish was something that I got in return with this slow travel lifestyle. I had no choice but to listen to people speak Spanish every day, not all day, but most of the day. And so that really made me a better understanding of the accents and what people were saying to me. So I'll have that for the rest of my career. So that is a professional benefit to me of having this slow travel lifestyle. So can you share any examples of how ITTO graduates has used the TEFL certification? So live like a local rather than just travel. So how does a TEFL job support this idea of a slow travel lifestyle where you're going to have work-life balance and not be a tourist, but you're going to be able to work mornings or evenings, or morning and evenings, and have time to explore, the community and the country and the city before and after the teaching job. Is that realistic? Is that possible? What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, and that's very interesting question. You're right. Even had to look for the slow travel term to be more acquainted to what it really means. But it is something that, yes, lots of people are doing. Normally, they are trainees as they are looking to enroll in a TEFL certification program. Many of them ask the question of if they're able only to stay for a few months, perhaps 3 months or maximum 6 months without having the need to really commit to a yearly contract. So it is possible. Yes, of course. I mean, the 4 week after the 4 week TEFL certification, what ITTO does is that we offer sort of a relocation assistance feature. So our teachers are able to sort of relocate, feel the essence of the city for one additional week of learning and having the opportunity to immerse in 1 week of Spanish lessons, which will help them to, we believe, to integrate in the community a little bit more, along with other features to help them to relocate, even for a couple of months or 3 months. Uh, Here, what we do is that we try to, we've been doing for the past many, many years as part of our job contact network. We're able to connect with schools, even providing the teachers the possibility for them to practice at their institutions, and having sort of an agreement of perhaps in the future to be able to propose a solid teaching opportunity. Yes, it is possible, of course, to have a short commitment of 3 6 months, and schools be able to provide job opportunities for 3 to 6 months. And the teachers teachers will be also go through the process of obtaining a work permit. That's very important, unless here in Mexico. So normally employees are looking for yearly contracts, yes, because
Mm-hmm.
employers, they do have to invest time, and time is money, in training the teachers, providing them induction to how the school, for the strategies that the school follows, the methods, instruction to students, how they even to show them facilities, of course, to introduce the co-workers. So that's how and why most of schools request the teachers to at least commit for 1 year. So and it's also some of the investment that the trainees, teachers, certified teachers are doing once they go through the process of obtaining a work visa. Work visa might take to not to be obtained might pass approximately 2 months. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine yourself obtaining your work permit and 3 months have passed and now you have to leave. And then that money just remains in the air because work permits are for 1 year validation. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I would say it's important as it is possible, yes, of course, to integrate in the community. but they even in small cities with limited time, there's so much to explore. Now, imagine in a city with 5, 6 million inhabitants, then might be limited. Although I, throughout all these years, I've known people who have traveled with this idea of slow travel
Hmm.
term, and they have ended up living in Mexico already, well, for many years. So
Yes.
yes, yes. Well, but it's possible. They start as slow travelers. They start teaching a few hours only. Yes, perhaps say 20 hours a week, 30 maximum 30 hours a week as an additional source of income. But after a few months, they all of a sudden decide to stay, perhaps working a few more hours, and making Mexico their home.
Yes,
Sometimes they
definitely. I mean, I think even if you take the TEFL or the English teaching out of it, I think that happens a lot with slow travel. You leave home planning to be a slow traveler and spend 3 months in every place until you get to that place that you don't want to leave. I mean, you don't know that you're looking for a place to stay, but I've been to so
Yes.
many cities with expat groups, and somebody says, "Oh yeah, I came here for, I don't know, a wedding. I came here because my friend was coming, and I've been here 11 years." I think the real impetus behind slow travel, at least for myself, is there's still so much of the world that I've not seen. And so once you feel like you've seen enough or you're just tired of moving around, there's always the opportunity that you'll come back and put down roots in a place that you love. So definitely. And you're right, Guadalajara, you could definitely, I mean, I was there 2.5 months and I definitely didn't see even a third of it. But a lot of it is because of how hard we were working. I mean, I just couldn't. But thank you for that. So our next question has to do with, I guess, the flip side of some of the benefits of teaching English abroad. If you haven't heard, this is to my audience. You're not going to get rich teaching English anywhere. Not
No.
even in the U.S., especially in the
Especially.
especially in the U.S. You will not even be able to keep up. But if you're in another country teaching English, you might be able to break even. At least you could break even. So I just wanted to say that as an educator in the US, there's so many other non-financial benefits to education and to helping people learn whatever. So can you talk a little bit, based on your experience with other alumni from the program, what are some of the non-financial rewards that you've heard graduates talk about?
Yes, and definitely TEFL certification. I've seen that acts as a powerful catalyst for personal transformation, especially for those taking a sabbatical or to reset their lives or careers. There was a there was one trainee like a six before the pandemic, 7 years ago, um, came up with this idea of a sabbatical, taking a sabbatical time. So and she was in her 60s. And she told me, Luis, I am here because I want to explore new cultures, but I still don't have a solid idea of what I want to do. So please help me. Now, of course, yes, we'll have several sessions and we'll explain, give you some feedback and everything. Okay. And then, but she definitely had the desire to stay in Mexico, but had so many commitments back home in the US, actually. And after a few days, we got her a job offer. If I remember well, it was in Chiapas,
Hmm.
state of Chiapas, beautiful Chiapas. And she told me, "Oh, Mr. Tamayo, Luis, but I didn't ask for a job. I mean, they were just sharing some ideas because I still have people waiting for me in the US and my employers. The employers want me back because she was already a teacher elementary, if I remember well."
Hmm.
Uh, and then she said, "Well, what should I do?" I said, "Well, the job offer is there. We got it because I noticed that you have the desire to stay. You shared with me that you have this idea of traveling and everything.
Hmm.
So why don't you attend the job offer, see what it's about, and then you make a decision. You have nothing to lose. I mean, you're in Mexico. Why not going traveling a little, and then going back, and then you said, "Oh, 7 years have passed already, and she's still now living in Mexico, teaching English." And she was so grateful. She said, "Okay, I'm definitely gonna take it and just need to go back to US, saying goodbye to everybody, selling all my things, and then coming back. Great, that's what she did. And even she's now also doing a YouTube channel.
Wonderful.
Very happy teacher. And I was going to say the name of the YouTube channel, but maybe I'll save it for later.
Yeah. If you know it, say it. If not, I can add it into the show notes.
Very well. It's called Miles and Coffee.
Miles and what?
And coffee. Coffee.
And coffee.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes,
I love that. Okay. I
very
love that.
great name. Yes.
Yeah, I think teaching English there is a wonderful community of people who are willing, I think, people who are willing to dedicate their lives to education and to helping other people learn are special people, if they're doing it for the right reasons.
Yes.
But I think there is a subset of people that love learning. Like, I love to learn. I love helping other people learn. But now I also love traveling. And so this teaching English abroad community is a subset, is a special subset of a special set of people. And I think there's a lot of openness and willingness to learn from other people in their journeys. That's one of the things I like about like having this platform, is not only do I get to share, any random person that would never meet, will watch this, watch Zell's video, the advisors, and your video, and be like, they had no idea that they wanted to go to Guadalajara. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow, I should think, I'll look into it. Right. So, I mean, I think that's the beauty of technology now. Right. So
yes, totally. And I normally profile of travelers they have a sense of contribution. They decided had to teach some of the giving back.
Yes.
So of course money is it's important, but they as you're traveling, one of the classes that ITT offers is to guarantee the job placement as soon as a graduate. So the monies that they earned in Mexican pesos, they'll spend in Mexican pesos, and savings should stay in the bank for later. Yes, even some of the teachers decide to volunteer. So,
I was going to say, in my class, there were several of us amongst the older students that came up with all these ideas for projects that we could do that involved raising money to be able to provide English lessons to people who can't afford it, but not so much, like to put in your own pocket. Because I do think, just like learning Spanish, I mean, I feel like the next generation, you can't really afford to be monolingual. That's an episode for another time, another season. But I feel like most people need to have 2 or 3 languages, particularly if you're going to be a traveler. Like, you can't be afraid to sound dumb. You got to be able to just practice and make it the best of it. I think you said 25 years you've been in the TEFL industry. How many
25 years?
35?
25 years.
That's amazing. So there's so many changes going on in education, and particularly with your experience, you've probably seen a lot of things come and go, and maybe you've seen things come that you thought or wished would go, but they're still here. So there's AI, online learning, the online tutoring, even TEFL certifications. I don't know if I said this on camera or not earlier. There are people on the internet talking about $20 TEFL courses, 20. And it reminded me of something my mother taught me. If something sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. Now, can you spend $20 on something and end up in a class? Absolutely. I believe somebody will take your $20 and deliver you some videos. I can't really speak to the quality of that or the thoroughness of that, but I mean, because of online learning and its popularity, people are able to use it to make money, very quickly and very efficiently. So what would you say to an aspiring teacher or somebody like myself? So I'm at the beginning of my English teaching career, about the future of the TEFL industry and the future of the English teaching industry. Like, what's coming? What are you concerned about? What are you excited about?
Yes. Again, very interesting question, right? The future of the TEFL industry. Well, with the pandemic, many things changed, of course. So many schools closed because of over the past decades. Yes, the TEFL industry has gone through a significant transformation, definitely. When ITTO began, most of the teaching positions were classroom based. And now the technology, these new platforms, of course, many things have changed. Now, with the rise of online learning, there's virtual classrooms, of course. There's the AI technology nowadays with this grammar supplements. Well, I call them supplements really because I don't think that throughout all these years, really, the AI is gonna replace the TEFL industry. Really, these are more like resources, additional resources, supplements for humans to provide quality in this case instruction to students. Taking advantage of these resources. Also mentioned how the is a new recently, but every time become more popular. They say I'm gonna say the word cheap courses because at the time that is really discouraging when prospect teachers contact us thinking that they already have the qualifications to travel abroad and provide TEFL instruction. And they show us this type of certificates, which really is disappointing. See, I would say that serious courses programs are usually more than 120 hour of instruction and should include supervised teaching practice. One of the main things that I would advise future teachers to look into serious courses. For courses should be internationally recognized and officially recognized by a government authority in the country of a region. A course that it is created by official government entity definitely is monitored, not on its external monitor. So that provides credibility to the program. So if the provider hesitates or does not have a straight answer to a straight answer to answer this type of inquiries, then definitely I would not recommend to sign up. Yes.
Yeah, the TEFL industry, now that I'm on the other side and I'm an alumni, it's very competitive. And so I would imagine if you have a degree that is recognized by the government, that is internationally recognized, and it's still, you have to be very diligent in fulfilling all the requirements that you're asked of. The people that are hiring you are also going to be desperate and maybe treat you some kind of way that you don't want to be treated. I chose a school that was certified because as an experienced educator, I know how important it was. I knew that on the flip side, as a student, I wanted to be able to have those assurances that there are a lot of people out saying that they have a TEFL certification. When they're hiring you, they're going to ask perhaps different kinds of questions to see what kind of certification you really have.
And that's what employers do nowadays. As soon as the teacher provides their CV and says TEFL certification, immediately they want to see a copy, scan copy, and see what authorities are crediting that specifically TEFL program. You're definitely looking to live in a certain country. Why not looking for a TEFL certification in that specific country and then to look for official validation?
Well, this has been really interesting, and I really appreciate you taking time, almost an hour, to get to this point. They get questions to you, resources that you think they should be aware of.
Okay, thank you, Giselle, very much. Our website is www. It's pretty easy to learn. I think it's called just tefl.com.mx. Tefl.com.mx. You won't miss it. And we're social media. We can keep in contact through social media. As you enter our website, you'll see the icon for WhatsApp using WhatsApp, or you might contact us through Facebook, Instagram, or just please send us an email and we'll be in touch. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you again for coming. Before I give you the last word, let me say that again, you're watching this episode on Sabbatical with Dr. Crystal. If you are not a subscriber, we would really appreciate your support of the channel by subscribing to the channel. We don't always talk about career path things. But I think it's important for people to understand not just the travel part and the fun and what seems like the fun part, which is fun, but also some of the things you have to do to be able to be on sabbatical, which is to continue your travels. So please subscribe. If you know someone who would be a good fit for a TEFL certification or career in English, please take the link to this episode and send it to them in a text message or however, WhatsApp, so that they can take a look at this and learn directly from an industry expert. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Tamayo to say farewell.
Very well. Thank you, Crystal. Of course, I would say of many of our trainees and now teachers have shared with us in the past. There are some really encouraging messages that our teachers have left in our website. But the ones that I remember now from Spot and which are beautiful is that most of them have in common is that how they experienced this positive impact in their lives and definitely made a change in their lives. So that's something that's great that we are here at TTO. We are very grateful, and that it's beautiful to see every day, every month, as new trainees come in and then new graduates graduate course, and it's beautiful to see. It's a tremendous and beautiful job. I'm grateful for that.